Have you ever heard of the Boogeyman? That dark and mysterious figure that hides in the shadows, waiting to take away naughty children. Over the years, this legend has traveled across the world, with different variations in every country. But how real is this story? Today, we're going to unravel the dark secrets behind the Boogeyman, exploring not just its origins as an urban legend, but also real-life cases that might have inspired it. At the end, I'll leave you with a question: what would you do if you came face to face with him? The Boogeyman is known in many cultures, especially in Spanish-speaking countries. He's said to be a creature that lurks in the dark, looking for disobedient children to carry off in a large sack. In some versions of the story, the Boogeyman is a grotesque monster, with red eyes and sharp teeth, while in others, he's just a man dressed in black, waiting for the right moment to kidnap children. But no matter the version, the message is clear: the Boogeyman is a terrifying figure, always lurking, ready to take children away when they misbehave. Although it sounds like a story made up to scare kids, the Boogeyman legend has its roots in real events, dark as they may be. In 1922, the city of Barcelona, Spain, was shaken by a terrifying rumor. For several months, children were mysteriously disappearing from the streets. At first, no one knew what was happening, but soon, there were reports of a strange man with a bag, seen lurking around, looking for his next victim. Panic spread throughout the city, and though the case was never solved, people began to connect these disappearances with the Boogeyman legend. Could this story have a real origin? Some believe it might. But it's not just in Europe where this mysterious figure is known. In Latin America, the Boogeyman also has a place in folklore. In Mexico, for example, there's a tale of a faceless man, dressed entirely in black, who roams villages at night, looking for children to take. In some versions, the Boogeyman carries a large burlap sack where he stores the kidnapped children until he decides what to do with them. Some even claim he feeds on them. Although there is no solid evidence that these disappearances were caused by a supernatural being, the stories passed down from generation to generation have kept the legend alive. What's truly chilling is the thought that, in many cases, the disappearances of children are never easily explained. What if the Boogeyman isn't just a myth? What if there's something darker behind it? In 1953, a strange and disturbing case occurred in northern Mexico, when several children vanished without a trace. Though no evidence pointed to a man with a sack, the locals began to fear that the Boogeyman legend might be more than just a story. Could these disappearances be linked to the older tales about this sinister figure? Over the years, the Boogeyman legend has been reinterpreted and adapted into movies and TV shows. In 2008, the film The Strangers depicted a group of people being stalked by masked strangers in the dark, a type of horror that, although not directly related to the Boogeyman, connects to the fear of an anonymous stalker lurking around homes, taking victims without a trace. This movie, along with others, has shown that the fear of the unknown, of shadows, and of figures hiding in the dark, is a recurring theme in horror films. Is this a modern version of the Boogeyman? What's interesting about the Boogeyman legend is that beyond the local stories, it serves as a metaphor for the primal fear we all share, the fear of the unknown. The image of the Boogeyman, with his mysterious sack and ghostly presence, reminds us of those fears we can't always face, like being taken or attacked by something we can't see. He represents a danger lurking out there, one we can't identify or confront, making him all the more terrifying. Now, I want you to think for a moment. Imagine you're at home, alone, it's nighttime. The house is silent, but something wakes you up. A sound. A tap on the window. You get closer, but you don't see anything. Just darkness. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears at the window. What would you do? Would you keep staring, paralyzed with fear, or would you close the curtains and run for cover? Think carefully, because what stands before you isn't just any man. It's the Boogeyman. A figure that has haunted generations, passed from mouth to mouth, and maybe, just maybe, it's closer than you think. Let me know in the comments what you would do if you came face to face with this dark figure. Would you freeze, or would you fight for your life? If you've ever felt like you were being stalked in the dark, or if you know a story similar to the Boogeyman, I'd love to hear your experience. Maybe, in the end, we're all closer to the truth than we think. The Boogeyman legend is one of the oldest and most popular horror stories in the world. But beyond its mythical nature, it forces us to confront our deepest fears. Is it just a legend, or is there something real behind it? We may never know, but one thing's for sure, the Boogeyman will continue to haunt our nightmares for a long time to come. Thanks for joining me on this chilling journey into the unknown. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more stories like this. Until next time, and remember, in the darkness, we're not always alone.